let me read for you again the scenario question about nations. About what? Nations. Before you continue, let me tell you one Kasoma Farouk of Uganda's idea. I can tell you today, believe that you can. Believe that you can. Even at a time when things are difficult, you need to believe that you can. Now, our scenario question. While giving a public lecture on the colonial history of Uganda at Makerere University, a visiting professor from Harvard University referred to Bunyoro, Buganda, Ankole, and other regions that made up Uganda as nations. Many people present in the main hall realized that he had made a mistake because these were kingdoms. However, the professor repeated it many times. This left the audience confused and blaming the organizers for bringing such a half-baked professor. The audience tasked the organizers to apologize for this misinterpretation of Uganda's history. Instead of apologizing, the organizers have hired you to defend the professor from Harvard University. Tasky. Because in the new curriculum, a question is called a what? A tasky. Write an essay defending the professor. Defending the what? The professor. In this scenario, people failed to understand that indeed the above kingdoms and many other chiefdoms in the region were nations. A nation is a large community of people united under common leadership or under one government. It can also mean an area where the majority of the population identify themselves as belonging together, out together. Now we need to understand that the professor was very right, because those kingdoms were full nations due to the following. Number one, they had common geographical areas with clearly defined boundaries. We are saying these kingdoms had common geographical areas that Buganda stops here altogether. Bunyoro stops here. This means that indeed the professor was right calling these kingdoms as what? Nations. Because among the characteristics of nations, they must have common geographical what? Area. Common geographical what? Area. They were independent of the other. They were independent of the other. That Buganda was independent from Bunyoro, even Bunyoro independent from Buganda. This makes us believe that these ones were what? Were nations. So we are defending the professor. The professor was right. The professor was what? Right.